What is up, everybody? This is B. This is Sociable Turtle. Welcome back to the Conversations That Matter, episode number 10. I am so excited to be here facing the camera. A lot's happened over the last few weeks, and just want to start this episode right here to ground us again before we keep on going. December wasn't just holiday season for us, it was a healing season, and that changed everything. It was heavy, but in the best way possible, and so we're going to talk a little bit about just what exactly that season looked like, what we're looking forward to in this new year of 2026, and how we are going to be continuing with our origin story series. So thank you for coming back. All right, so this December, wow, it was, that was not exactly what I was expecting. I mean, this was coming off of Thanksgiving, so as you guys have been following, my addiction, for many people's addiction, is very much a family disease. So that affects all aspects of people's lives, even when you don't think the ones that are going to get affected by it are going to be hurt. So it very much had spiraled into a toxic just web of hurt and pain, and understandably so. There's a lot of things there that needed to be rectified, that needed to be just kind of brought forth and brought to the attention. So Thanksgiving time spent in California with Amelia and her family, and actually got to have Thanksgiving dinner with her father. We didn't say anything, but it was the first step in the right direction. It was a cordial dinner. And then a few days later, he came up to me, and I think it was just, I don't know what it was, just me being present and not forcing the issue, just acknowledging it's like, hey, I'm here. I'm going to be around. I'm here to make this work, with your daughter. And I hope that you can trust her judgment and see that things actually have changed, because I understand that this is very hard, when you're familiar with the behavior of addicts and alcoholics in your life, and the past issues and things that you've dealt with. I understand that this is really challenging your way of how we can move forward. Like, can people actually change? And you'd be surprised. There's people out there that, and I'm trying to be one of them, that's proving you can and you will, if you make the right steps and changes for yourself first, right? And that's exactly what, in the brief conversation that I did end up having with them, I was able to convey that. And I think over time, we'll continue to take those steps in the right direction. But huge win, huge step, on that front. And then a few weeks later in December, we had a conversation, or I had a conversation with my parents, and they actually flew out from the East Coast all the way to Colorado so they could sit down and have a healing conversation, something that needed to happen face to face. It was, there was a lot of space and distance was created as a result of my addiction. And one of those fallouts was Amelia and my side of the family. There's just a lot of miscommunication and assumptions that were made. And overall, just a lot of there was not clarity that was found until we had this initial, very lengthy conversation, and just kind of, dissecting a little bit about what exactly happened, what we thought on this side, what they thought on this side, and kind of bridging, because on a lot of when I was deep in my addiction, there's a lot of misinformation that I was spreading, and me being the focal point, I was not giving the right side of, direction to Amelia. I wasn't giving the right side, of the story to my family. And so just a lot of wires being crossed and unnecessary, just like misunderstandings. So that conversation, them coming out, having that conversation with us here, no distractions, no avoidance, just honesty. It wasn't ugly. It never needed to be. It was just something that you had to get over that hump, you get over that initial friction of it, because then once you get that momentum going, it's smooth sailing. It really is. And yeah, I don't say this lightly, but that conversation changed everything. So, it created understanding, and it bridged the space. It clarified a lot of things, and it put us all in a much better place, than we were before. Because of that conversation, we actually went to the East Coast and spent Christmas with my family at the house, and it was amazing. Christmas at my house is absolutely something unique. It's definitely like winter wonderland. If the North Pole could recreate it, they'd be lucky. So we spent Christmas there, and then we ended up bringing the New Year's in at Disney World in Orlando, and that was absolutely amazing time. It was just a celebration of how far things had come. And actually, because of that trip, I'm still coming over a bug that I caught from somewhere. I swear, when you see children literally licking the handrails as they're waiting in line I'm like, please control your gremlins. Like, what are we doing here? So who knows what I freaking caught. It's taken me about a week or so, but I'm getting my voice back. Forgive me if this is a little bit shorter episode because of that. Moving on, where are we now? So coming out of that season, that has that's changed everything. I feel immensely lighter, a lot more grounded, a lot more just, I know where we're headed. Like our heading is strong right now. And I'm really, really passionate and motivated to continue on and on the path that we're trajected for. There's a lot less tension in the background. There's less unspoken weight. And when you feel that kind of healing happening in real time, it changes how you look at everything, including the work that you're creating. It reminded me of why we started building the space to begin with, why we were motivated and adamant about growing it to include all who want to be a part of it. It's not just to tell stories, but to make space for them. So, what are we building? What are we building? Looking forward to in 2026. Feels very exciting. One of the biggest things that we're prepping right now is the dedicated studio space where we're hoping that most of our future Sociable Turtle episodes will be filmed at, along with some other creative projects as well. So looking forward to having that built out, prepared, designed. We've got a couple of spaces in mind, but we're going to be focused on at least one for now and get that going, hopefully in the near future. So the hotel life has been a lot of fun, but it doesn't provide a very consistent background, and it's not the most particularly interesting, but we thank them for what we got. And alongside the studio space, one of our other ideas that I want to kind of pitch out there, tease a little bit, that I've been building out in the background is another adjacent series called Offline Arguments. I want it to be a little bit more topical. I want it to be a little bit more about things that I'm interested in. That's not always necessarily tied into mental health. Even though this is good stuff, there are a lot more things that I would love to talk about as well. And it's also a nice breather too. I think there's a lot of current events and a lot of just even like fun things like movies and music and things like that. So we're still building out how we want to explore that kind of format. I have a couple of ideas in mind, so we'll continue to throw some stuff out there and let's see what you guys tell me. Other things that we are also talking about. I've been having a lot more conversations with my brother, one of the other parts of our Ninja Rejects crew, and we are looking forward to building out some more of our gaming content on the Ninja Rejects channel. Streaming, maybe some competitions, and one of our first multi-episode series ideas is to replay one of our favorite games of all time, Halo, of course. And we're thinking about doing it from the very beginning to the end, campaign by campaign, legendary difficulty, probably, but we'll see how confident we are once we get going. But so Ninja Rejects for sure. It's going to be same creator, same mental, mentality, but maybe a little more chaos, maybe a few more F-bombs getting dropped in the chaos of it all. But just a slightly different vibe, but we'll continue to be working on that. And I'll let you know as we get closer to pushing some content out for the Ninja Rejects channel. So keep an eye out for that. But before I wrap this up, I just want to say I really appreciate you all, of course, as always. It means so much that you guys keep coming back. The love and support that you continue to show me in person, in the comments, in private messages. It's amazing. It's overwhelming. And diving into these origin stories that we've dropped the past couple of times, it's a totally different art style and different style of storytelling for me, more cinematic, more compact, and being able to talk about heavier moments in my life while feeling genuinely seen and heard. It's means a lot. Thank you. It's thank you for holding the space. Thank you for the patience with it. And thank you for allowing the channel to grow organically and not forcing it into something it's not. The origin stories will continue in that cinematic format. Down the line, Amelia and I do plan to do a little bit more of a deep dive, camera facing, and we'll kind of talk a little further about those chapters of our lives. More conversation, more reflection, more conversations, more reflection, more context. And because obviously you can't tell everything, in 6 to 8 minutes, but I like to keep it with that cinematically visual style. And then in the future, we can definitely, talk a little bit more about some of the finer details that I think would be appropriate, because the whole point of the origin story is the origin of my addiction. It's about us, but it is the origin of where did the addiction start? Because it's usually something quiet. It's usually something small. Not everybody's whatever your vice is. It doesn't always have to be loud. It's not always something that's in your face. It's not something that you're even fully aware of until you're much further down the line. You're like, oh, hold on, wait, let's walk this back. Let's walk the breadcrumb trail back to the beginning. So that's when it's not necessarily the most fun thing to do, but it has been very healing. It has been very pure, being able to go back down and view view my life, through the lens that I have now with everything that we've been through. And again, appreciate you guys just being along for the ride. So with that said, part 3 is up next. That chapter takes us into the shadow years, which it's definitely a dark time of my life. There's a lot of good moments, a lot of bright moments, but it's definitely a part of my life that I don't talk about a lot, and for good reason. This part of my life was the reason that it probably took so long for me to talk about my addiction in general. It definitely taught me a lot of lessons, and yeah, so it's a little bit of a heavier one, but I appreciate you sticking it out. And we'll continue to drop some other stuff like Control B skits to lighten up the mood, because we're not only here to talk about trauma and all the depressing things. We are here because we are on a healing path. We're here to continue to just love life, live it to its fullest. And we've really, really balanced creating this past season while also staying present and in the moment, because these moments, you don't know when they're going to come again. These opportunities to be with the people that you love, to spend these moments that are really cherished, this time together. I don't know how to describe it. I love the holiday season. And I also know that the holiday season can be rough for some people. We had some losses over this holiday season that really just breaks your heart, really makes you ache. And so, while there's a lot of happiness, we do acknowledge the other side of life. The yin and the yang is, there's some loss, there's some grieving happening right now. And I know here on the Sociable Turtle channel with our families, I think we did a pretty good job this year combating, the overwhelming amount of just insanity that's coming from the news at times, the overwhelming amount of grief that's happening in our lives, whether it's from past experiences and trauma or current things, recent activities. But we're here for you. We want you to know that the space that we've been creating is a safe space for us all, and we're going to keep on pushing forward. In the face of adversity, we're going to keep on pushing forward with the lightness that we now carry. We're going to keep on pushing forward because it feels great to do so. We have a lot of things that we're excited for in this coming year, and we're looking forward to all of you being a part of it. So this episode just wanted to be, touch back in with the crew, let you know that we're still very much on this path. We are coming back into our rhythm, and there's a lot coming, but we're building it intentionally, and really glad you're here for it. So, and we got to acknowledge the turtle in the room. What's up, my guy? This was probably the best Christmas gift I ever received. Thank you, Ma. Love you. You're wonderful. So we have our first prototype of Sociable Turtle. Listen, Ninja Reject. Sociable Turtle. He's just an adorable dude. Oh my goodness. So, absolutely love him. No, he's not for sale. This one's mine. But we will continue with some more costume design ideas and other ways that we can bring our characters to life. We are very excited, and I'm gonna leave you guys on that note. And if you haven't seen this video yet, go check it out. It was a very fun cinematic short to make. Features all of our characters that we've been creating and building out some lore for, including Sociable Turtle, the Ninja Rejects, and of course Thrash Panda from Thrash Panda Studios. So go show it some love, catch up on the origin stories. We are working on part 3 as we speak, and we look forward to bringing that all to you very soon. So welcome to 2026. I hope you guys are staying strong in your resolutions, and if you don't have any resolutions, just keep going strong in general. We love you and we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.